reverb in there. How are you doing?
I'm swell. How are you?
I'm good. That's how you talk now? You say you're swell?
I'm gonna say something. I've always said swell.
You say swell?
I think I've said swell since I was like 17, and each time it gets a response from people, and each time I act like I'm surprised.
You're from Pennsylvania also, right?
Yes. Where are you from?
I'm from Harrisburg.
Oh, Mr. Rockefeller.
Wait, where are you from?
I'm from like a very rich, horsey Amish country county outside of Philly.
Which one?
I never know how to narrow it down. Westchester?
I know Westchester.
Okay. And then more specifically Unionville or Kennett Square?
Those are just,
yeah, then it gets smaller.
Now you're just saying words. Those are just words to me.
No, but I never know, because sometimes people are like, keep going, and I'm like,
and what street?
Exactly.
And what street do you live on?
Yeah, but yeah, it's very, very rural, very horse themed, I would say.
Oh, okay. Did you were a horse girl?
Adjacent.
How so?
Everyone around me was.
But you never.
I like told my mom that I had allergies, which I realized upon reflection, my mom would know actually that more than me, an 8-year-old would. I didn't want to ride horses. I don't know why at all.
Interesting.
I think just because my older sister did, I was like, that can't be my story. And I'm really glad.
What did you do?
Soccer.
You were okay. That makes you have the soccer jersey on. Yeah. Is that where you got all your concussions?
I think my first concussion was field hockey. Is this started?
Oh yeah, we're recording.
Awesome.
Yeah. No. I mean, that's I wanted to sort of just ease you into it.
This is how I've said the most problematic stuff in my life.
That's how it always happens. You're just like, yes. I mean, and that's why I told him the vaccine's not real. Anyway, is this thing on?
Every time. I want to say.
So, what made you vote for Trump?
It's all those concussions. First concussion was a field hockey ball for sure. No, before that I fainted at school because I had been like a vegetarian for 6 months, and then I was like, I'll eat a burger. I ate a burger, intense stomach cramps, passed out, but I was like in a wooden chair, and I like smacked my head.
Yeah.
And then there was a field hockey ball, and then I'm like slurring my world. And then there was a bike crash on the way here, and then it's all been bike crashes since then.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Do you wear a helmet?
I am. Who listens to this?
It's just my parents.
Okay. Yes,
Just
I wear the
please.
helmet they bought me.
My parents bought you.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So you grew up in fucking Union Station, Pennsylvania.
Exactly.
And then where'd you go to college?
I went to Northeastern in Boston.
Oh, I applied there. I think I got waitlisted.
Where did you go?
I went to UVM, Vermont.
Oh, okay. So we were both up.
Both up in the Pennsylvania New England pipeline.
Well, I don't know.
Wait, how old are you? Are we the same age?
I'm 28.
Yes, we're the same age.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if you experienced this, but like, I stayed pretty enchanted with New England the whole time. When everyone there was so like, I don't know, all the Massachusetts massholes that I knew were like very like it's overrated, and I was like, this foliage really does rock.
I think it's a little bit different in Vermont because there's so much more nature, and it's like a lot of people from Massachusetts, like from like Boston, that are like, yeah, this is the cooler part in New England. Like
very good,
yeah.
Mr. Wahlberg. Okay.
I watch Good Will Hunting every morning. That's while I'm brushing my teeth. I brush my. It takes a really long time to brush my teeth.
I just watched the "It's Not Your Fault" scene, but I have a deep fake AI dub where it's Robin Williams is telling me that it is my fault. And then it is. I'm just brushing my teeth, sobbing, weeping. It's my fault.
It's all your fault. Okay, so you went to. What did you study there?
I studied. Wait, I could take these off.
Yeah, you can take them off. You don't.
I was like, yeah, I studied. I was there for a month or so. I was biochem to be on a pre-med track, and then I very quickly was like, probably gonna be an English major.
Yeah.
So I was English and like communications, but I like the whole thing with that school is the internships, the co-ops. So I had a cool time going to Cambodia for 6 months. and I was working and living at a nonprofit there. And then I also worked at Hasbro Toys and Games for on the Monopoly team specifically.
Whoa.
So all that stuff was very cool.
That is cool. Yeah. So wait, so you want to be a doctor?
Yeah, for like 2 seconds. But then I realized, no, I want to write Scrubs. I don't want to be a doctor.
Oh, I don't want no Scrubs.
I also write that down. Put it on a beat. I went to all girls high school, and I think because I had the slightest inclination for math and science, not even that much, they were like, well, you are going to be a woman in STEM, and you're going to represent everything. It was honestly really backwards, the way the overcorrection was swinging at that time, where they were like,
all women are scientists.
and they have to be, because otherwise you're not a feminist. And I was like, well, okay, so I have to be good at science. I'm really not. I'm really more of a words guy.
Yeah. So what were you into as a kid? Were you like, were you always into comedy?
I wasn't. I feel like, were you? Were you like a student of stand-up forever?
I think pretty early. My parents were always were pretty big comedy fans. Like they introduced me to like Steve Martin and Monty Python.
Okay.
At like a young age. And I think if stand-up came, I think I started watching stand-up more like in middle school and high school. But I watched like a lot of like, I always liked comedy.
I think
like Scrubs. I was a big fan of Scrubs.
I was a big fan of Scrubs.
Yeah.
I think in my family, like I definitely think being funny was like a currency. Stand-up itself was not a big deal growing up for me at all. Not until I graduated college, honestly. I must have sat down and watched my first stand-up special when I was 22, I feel like.
And what was it?
I think it was Ali Wong. Well, no, I'd watched John Mulaney in high school for
well,
sure.
if Ali's Wong, I don't want to be white.
Clip that up. He doesn't want to be white. He's done with it. He's done being white. I'm not. I have work to do.
Actually, I love this. This is the only thing I like.
I wish I had been a student of stand-up. I feel like I've tried to make up for lost time in a lot of ways. But no, I definitely wasn't. And I think that held me back because I feel like a very dumb kid going to open mics with internet, Tumblr-y humor, but not like a reference or knowledge of stand-up at all. But like growing up, it was, in my house, Arrested Development, Seinfeld, Scrubs, and The Office were king for sure. So like TV was big, but not stand-up itself, which I think I didn't understand that distinction until I was already in it.
So you started doing stand-up after college? Mm-hmm. So was that in Boston or that was here?
It was here, and it was right before a pandemic.
Right, because we moved here at the same time. We were in a class at BCC.
Oh my God, what was it?
It was the improv 101? To sketch class.
Oh my God.
That we had like 2 classes, and then COVID happened.
Yes. I completely forgot about that. And now it's also so funny that I was jumping straight from like an improv to sketch when I did not know how to do improv.
I took level 2 and 3 here, and then I was like, well, this sounds cool, so I'll do this.
It was a great sounding class. And I honestly, that's igniting something for me now. I'm like, I should try to write, now that I do improv, I'm like, well, some of this stuff could be sketches.
Right.
But I definitely, and it's so funny because now I feel like this is the spiel I've said before, I'm sure you have too, where I'm like, people ask you like how long you've been doing comedy.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm like, I went to some mics pre-pandemic. I gotta start the timeline May 2021. Yeah. Personally, I gotta start my timeline post-vaccine because whatever I was doing before was, I basically was in New York long enough to understand that I wanted to do comedy, make a huge fool of myself, be a nuisance at mics, bomb my ass off, and then be inside for a year and a half.
So what was your first open mic was in New York?
Yeah. The first one ever was QED.
QED. Wow.
Yeah, devastating. QED loved the institution. That 5:30 p.m. mic was devastating, and I fell in love. And I did horrible.
So what made you want to do stand-up? If that wasn't like, what did you think you wanted to do? Like so first, obviously, you thought you wanted to be a doctor, but you just liked Scrubs, and then did you want to be like a TV writer? Or?
I think I was messing around with pre-law before then. I think everything for me in that era.
I had a pre-law phase. I was never actually pre-law, but I thought about it.
Which is so pre-law.
Yeah, I was pre-law.
And you can get pregnant from pre-law. Just so you know. I was so trying to be like a type A valedictorian type that I was like reverse engineering passions from there. Like I think I've never been lacking for like ambition and passion direction
Yeah.
is more my issue. So I was like, I love words, the law. That would be an impressive thing to do.
Yeah.
And I really did like it. And I think I'm someone, and I feel like a lot of people relate to this, like where it's easy to convince myself that something's my passion because I'm interested in it.
Right. Well, there is like, I mean, you see the like lawyer to comedian transition. It happens a lot. And
well, I mean, that's a similar skill set, identifying ironies and contradictions.
It's also convincing people that you're right. It's the same thing.
Having a thesis,
It's having, when you're telling a joke, it's like, I'm convincing the audience that this is funny in the same way that I'm convincing them that O.J. Simpson didn't do anything wrong.
That was you?
Yeah, that was me. Actually, I am Johnny Cochran.
I keep getting TikToks that are about how the Rizzler did it.
The Rizzler? How? Explain.
There's like a clip, I'll send it to you, where it's like, he's just sitting in a chair and he's like, oh, there's a glove under my seat. and then it's like dramatic music and it's being like, it was him the whole time. I love it.
I gotta get the Rizzler on this podcast.
You gotta get the Rizzler.
That's kind of that's an opposite podcast. That's not Why Aren't You More Famous? That's Why Are You Famous?
That really is.
That's a separate podcast.
Dude, I can't think about the Rizzler. I'll get too sad.
I'll get too horny.
He broke my heart. Poor little guy. But
no, it's a child. I'm kidding. I wouldn't be horny. My legal team advised me to say that.
And this is where the pre-law comes in. The idea that something like hinges on a word. No, it's a very similar skill set. But I've said this to people before, and the more I say it, the more I'm like, this is not interesting. I think I had in the back, I was too scared to do improv or anything throughout college or whatever. I was super anorexic, and that totally was holding me back from like being a person.
Well, you're so tired.
Exactly. I was so weak. Yeah. I'm so tired dividing this Cliff Bar into 8s. How can I see the humor in that? But I don't know how, but basically a friend from a class, I think, was like, hey, I think you would be good at this. And he sent the Onion fellowship application. And I didn't get the fellowship, but I did.
And you're like, Onion, that's food. I can't eat that.
No, Onion calorically pretty safe, honestly. That was fine. But
and it makes you cry, so you feel like you've earned.
I'm burning the calorie. Exactly. That's the punitive aspect of it. But I tried. I went out for that. Didn't get the fellowship. Did get the contributor thing. And then through that, like someone was like, well, you got to be on Twitter. I talked to Twitter people. They were like, you should be in New York doing stand-up. And I think I just had a lot of friends who were like, yeah, you don't know what you want to do. Go try to be a comedy writer. Everything. I didn't consider the idea that I would be a brand or a performer or anything like that.
Yeah.
I was all like, well, yeah, I want to be a writer. As if, now we know, I'm like, as if that was the more attainable, safer route. Right. When it's actually 10 times harder to just be a writer. I would love it.
I feel like the thing about comedy writer versus comedian is that one, it sounds like more of an actual job. Because it's like, well, I write for, where like with stand-up, it's like.
It sounds less ego and like self-promotional.
Yeah, I used to think that I wanted to be a writer. Honestly, COVID was the thing that really changed that. Because I still like writing, but it's like, it was not being able to perform and having all the time in the world to write and just being like, no, I actually hate this. I actually like being on stage and having people looking at me and listening to every word I say.
That's so... See, I never got a taste of that before the pandemic hit. All I've done was bombing. So for me,
I did stand-up in college.
Okay.
So I had been doing it for a couple years before I moved. And in Vermont, which is like a small and supportive scene. So I was able to like do like 10 to 15 minutes on like booked shows pretty often before moving here.
And then do you remember your first mic in New York?
Yeah, I do actually. It was at Halyards. It was before I moved here. Devin Walker, formerly of SNL, was the first person I met there. And he was just sitting writing, and I was like, "Hey, I'm Adam," and and when he did his set and it was fine, but I was like, "This guy's got it." He's so charming, and when he got SNL, I was like, "Yeah, it makes sense."
There's nothing better than like someone who's truly experienced and skilled, like fucking around at a mic, versus the new person who's like, well, I need to be the most carefully, tightly scripted joke ever.
Yes. Yeah. Well, it was definitely, I think that I was still, because I hadn't been doing it that long, and I was 20 when I started. So I was still like, good and had some good sets and good jokes and like knew what it felt like to do well on stage. But I also was not so far removed from bombing at a mic that I was like such a big transition. Where I know other people that moved here from Vermont and had like won Vermont's funniest comedian, and then we're like, what the fuck? I'm the worst person at an open mic.
Yeah.
But for me, I was like, well, this isn't that different than anything else. I wasn't like, it wasn't like I was like featuring for people. Like I was just doing good sets at bar shows.
It was a more linear progression for you, where you're like, well, this is the next step.
Yes,
this is what it's supposed to feel like.
And I also, but the big thing was I was going to mics with like my A material and bombing, and that was like, oh my God, that shit hurt.
Yeah, I had a bomb recently, and
at the airport.
Exactly, and they said, you know what? You're cute. Give it a shot. Awesome riff, Meredith. No, coming here after a full work day. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, had a profound bomb recently, and I think it was our friend Jenna Sheraton who said this. But I think she was like, so like, when do we have to stop learning? Or when do we get to stop learning this lesson?
Oh,
and I was
God,
like,
that's great.
100%.
Yeah.
And I also think she didn't bomb, but she was just being helpful and commiserating. And that's what it feels like. The public failure involved is like, so do I ever stop learning this?
I think the answer is no. I mean, I think unless you make it to like the highest level of the like Kevin Hart or like Nate Bargatze, I think is probably at that level.
Which also though, it must be tough for them, like as a comic, to not have a trusted space where people will actually tell you if it's not that good.
Yeah. I think that's why you see a lot of these guys where like, I think Kevin Hart's kind of a perfect example because like his early stand-up is so good and he's so undeniably funny. And his new stuff is just like, he's still like that same guy, but it's just not good jokes. Like, I haven't even watched a new special of his in a long time, but like...
Neither have I, so I can't really speak to it. But what you're saying makes so much sense because it's like, yeah, if you're not getting the feedback and at the same time, the other thing of like, now I need to appeal to more people than ever, which is bad for comedy.
Yeah.
To try to say something that like really connects the entire country is not going to be the sharpest joke.
There's also something about, I mean, thinking about like the ego rush of like killing at an open mic with 10 people. Now amplify that to you're destroying at a stadium of like 50,000 people, and it's just like, how do you like walk off stage and feel like a human?
You can't.
Yeah.
I think that changes your brain chemistry.
I know, and I just can't wait for that to happen.
I also think like more than like if you're a musician or a dancer or something. Oh, look at that dog go.
Wow, that's...
I love a dog where you can tell when it's walking that it's going dog, dog, dog. Like, that's good shit. Bring that little Italian Greyhound as your next guest. Why isn't that dog famous?
I hope that dog has an Italian accent.
That Italian American Greyhound. But I think like...
Who did nothing wrong and is not white.
Yet. Abundance mindset. But I think that like if you have a skill, like something that's like a skill that is not a personality trait, like music or acting or something like that, versus like you being funny is like, that's the thing everyone wants to be. Every coworker you've ever had has wanted to be and identify as funny. And to like get feedback at Madison Square Garden that you are the funniest person, that's different than like having a skill set. That's like your personality, your heart, you're the funniest person. And that's like the most coveted trait of all time. I wish...
Wait, sorry. I just gotta check. I don't know if this is recording. What were we talking about before we stopped talking? We were talking about Kevin Hart and Madison Square Garden. You're performing there at Kill Tony. Okay, so you started doing stand-up right before COVID happened. And then what was COVID like for you?
Time of my life. My plan worked. No, that was awesome. It's so funny because I'm like, for what the mics I was going to pre-pandemic, I truly in my heart am like, was I doing stand-up? I was like discovering comedy is how I would put it. And that's me just gatekeeping my own experience. But for me, I really pivoted to online stuff during the pandemic because I really got the taste and I was like, I want to do comedy in some way, shape, and form. I have this Onion thing, Reductress, those things that like give you the taste of like, what if I got paid to write jokes?
Right.
And so I chased that and I honestly like, I was getting so much external validation from things like TikTok and Twitter that I felt like I got to start stand-up at a slightly like, actually, I won't say advantageous because like it's Twitter and TikTok and all that stuff was great for like joke efficiency, horrible for like, okay, well, what do people actually laugh at versus what do they like send to their friends?
Right. There's a difference.
I think so many tweets and things, and this is where you see like online comics fail is what works best online is like a premise. And then in the algorithm, comments are helpful. So when people kind of fill in the punchline and the funny part in their comments, that's what's doing well.
Right.
And making the video do well. But like nobody wants like a setup punchline in the video unless you're like really actually posting good stand-up.
Well, and then it's kind of the opposite in stand-up because it's like people will sometimes try and like fill it where you'll start with the setup and then they'll say something that they think is the punchline. It's like, hey, actually it's not really time for you to talk right now.
So, do you think that like Reel's economy is rotting audiences' brains?
Definitely. I mean, I think everything with our phones is like
absolutely
rotting our brains. But for sure, yeah. I mean, I think it destroys our attention span. Also the kind of stuff that just does well online, which like you're saying is stuff where the idea is to engage with comments or like crowd work or like heckler clips.
Yes, totally. Which I understand is like if you're a comic with a ton of material but you don't want to burn it and you get good crowd work clips, amazing solution to like not having to post all your precious jokes all the time and burn your shit. But like a good crowd work clip is fine. A bad one is awful.
It's a bad one it's kind of like improv because it is improv basically.
Yeah, it is.
Where it's just like a bad crowd work clip, and you see them sometimes, and it's just like, what do you do? What do you do for work?
It's like, and then there was the checkpoints of like
gay.
Well, his job was very gay. Engineering. But why are you around all those men? But I think that
we're like mengineering.
That's something I'm working on. That's going to be the next pandemic. But I feel like, what was I going to say? Would you prefer to see bad stand-up or bad improv?
Bad stand-up. Well, I don't know. They both suck. Yeah.
It's so bad stand-up for me.
Yeah.
And I know people have the argument of, well, but that one's premeditated. And I'm like, but at least you're just watching someone fail on their own. I don't know.
Yeah.
You're not watching someone like truly grasp at straws and not be able to come up with anything salvageable. Also, improv's tough to watch.
Bad stand-up it's what leads to good stand-up a lot of times.
That's true.
I mean, sometimes not. Sometimes people are just straight up
It depends what kind of bad.
Bad.
Is it bad because it's awkward? Is it bad because it's like hateful? If it's hateful, no. And it's like
that's like a separate thing though, because I don't even like think about that when I think of bad stand-up.
Really?
Well, I mean, because that's my favorite.
Exactly.
No, I guess that is what a lot of bad stand-up is now. It's just, I guess when I think of bad stand-up, I think of somebody trying to do stand-up and the jokes are just bad.
Yeah.
But then, yes, I guess when it is just straight up, it's just hateful. That's worse.
It is worse. But yeah, if we're just talking like it's just corny and not good, I would rather sit through that and be like, I see what they were going for. Like, okay, that's hack. But like, that is easier for me to sit through than horrible improv.
So when you started watching stand-up, like what comics did you get into?
It was all you know what, actually? I'll rewrite a little bit of what I've said. I got really into Comedy Bang Bang.
Oh, okay. So the show or the podcast?
Both.
Okay.
So not stand-up, but like that kind of alt world was, and especially the farts and procreation episodes. Do you know what I'm talking? Were you a Comedy Bang Bang guy?
More the show than the podcast.
Okay. There's like an iconic run of, it's like not like a traditional episode for Comedy Bang Bang where it's Chelsea Peretti, Adam Scott, Harris Whittles, and Scott.
Oh, yes, I do know, yeah.
And it's the Farts and Pro, and it's like just the driest, miserable episodes, and I love it so much. And it's just like comics trying to make each other laugh and not giving it to each other. Oh, it's the best. And that really was like, before I fell in love with stand-up, I feel like I was like, I love the way comics talk to each other. Maybe?
I do. I actually do get that. That was the thing that like made me really feel like I need to do comedy was like Pete Holmes' podcast was like the first podcast I really listened to.
Totally.
And it was just him. Did you listen to that?
I did. You made it weird?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Again,
because I was like, oh, they're talking about comedy to other comics.
Yes.
And I was like getting off on that, but not at all considering that I could be one of them. I think I was just like, oh, this is, I was like, it would be so cool to be like one of them, but unfortunately, it's not a possibility for me.
Yeah.
It took a second.
Well,
for
I
me
mean,
to
you're a
consider
woman.
that.
You can only be a scientist.
Exactly. The alternate reality. I don't know what. I think just some people. I don't know what it is. That's a personal thing. Like, there's nothing in the way I was raised or the environment I was in that told me I couldn't do that. It was just like a lack of knowledge that the comedy was such a big world.
Yeah.
You know?
What do your parents do?
My dad is a restaurant owner, so definitely
A restaurateur.
A restaurateur, and he an entrepreneur type. So I know he wished one of his kids had been like a business guy, but unfortunately we were not. And my mom's had odd jobs here and there. What about your parents?
My mom's a writer, and my dad
nice.
is he's a rep for a furniture company. But growing up, they owned a furniture store together.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Look at us in Pennsylvania business owners.
Pennsylvania business
But
owners.
your mom being a writer, I'm like, okay, so the idea that art is valuable existed as a kid.
Yeah, but she never did that. She was not like didn't have like a career as now she's working on her first book and
Really?
she has an agent. Yeah.
Do you know what kind of stuff she's writing?
It's memoir.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Do you guys have a dramatic story?
Do you know about my brother dying?
Only what is you said in your stand-up.
Yeah. So my brother died.
I know that he liked Louis C.K.
He did like
That's genuinely what I know.
That is, I do know that joke. He liked Louis C.K. and Dave Chappelle. Yeah.
It's such a good joke. But that is the extent of my knowledge.
So it's mainly about my brother dying and her the journey of overcoming that and as a family and so it is definitely weird to be knowing that I'm in the book. And she said that she got
as
notes.
the antagonist.
Yeah, it's because I killed him. She got notes from some people of it sounds like Ruben, my brother, was more important to you than Albert, my dad, and Adam, me. And then she was like, well, no, they're just alive. They can tell their own stories. But
that's a crazy note to get.
Yeah,
I find.
Yeah. So I've read stuff she's written, and I don't like reading. It's good. It's good, right? But it's so personal that I'm I don't enjoy reading it.
That makes a ton of sense.
But I haven't. She's written a first draft of the book, and I don't think she's really started the second draft yet. But so I don't know. I hope that she publishes it soon.
Yeah.
So but it's cool. But yes,
I would understand that though, being I'm so proud of you. You're an amazing writer. I cannot hold this book.
Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
and I know I have to read it. When once she is finished with it, and she's even told me, and I think I've said this on the podcast before, that she's told me that I'm the only person that has veto power over
Really?
anything in the book. If there's stuff about me that she's that I'm I don't want people knowing, or that which is very sweet. And I think ultimately
that's good priorities.
Yeah.
I think there's this idea of artists and truth and this tortured relationship of it doesn't matter who you hurt. And I'm I disagree with that.
Yeah.
So much.
Well, and I think it's all about there's a lot where I think for, anybody else, I think to her is fair game. But for me, it's that's where the line is drawn.
That's very sweet. You're special.
Yeah.
You're a special baby boy.
How many siblings do you have?
2 sisters, older and younger.
Right.
Blonde, redhead, brunette.
Really?
Isn't that crazy?
What are your parents?
My mom is, neither of the blondes are real, but my mom's blonde. And then
they're not they're robots.
And my dad has red hair.
Yeah.
And so my little sister being brunette, when I was learning about Punnett squares, the math does not add up. But then again, I was not that good at science. I was just a woman.
Right.
But I bet my mom has the brunette gene to pass on and has been dyeing her hair red.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yes.
So,
Or dyeing her hair blonde, sorry.
and your parents are divorced?
Quite.
So what happened? What's that all about?
My mom cheated on my dad. And well, of course, that's probably not like the summary that they want.
Yeah.
To hear. But that's the
Right, and I know that
also
also from your jokes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've been trying to write more stand-up about it, but maybe not at all to the same scale, but similar themes of what you're saying with like reading your mom's book or you having veto power. Like I don't have a lot of anger with my parents, so the risk of just like upsetting them with certain jokes because I could doesn't feel worth it at this time. Because they're jokes I want to make, but it's also like in my family not something that we've like. It's just sort of time passed. Yeah. It's not like there was some like grand reconciliation. I thought I know her. Sorry.
That's your mom.
She's here. Well, I want to say
she's so mad.
I want to say something. It's not this simple, but I want to say something about how she like came back. Basically, she like lived in California for 10 years, and she's now married to that guy. So like,
the guy that she cheated on your dad with.
Yeah, it was what she wanted.
So she made the right call.
So she made the right call, I guess. And then they now live.
And he
back
won,
on the East Coast.
and your dad's a loser cock.
And they, I want to do something about like how. My mom kind of came back, and like the reason being, I'm pretty sure is because I got really good grades. Like,
really?
That's what it feels like. And when other kids were abandoned, I used to sympathize with them, but now I want to be like, well, how many APs were you taking? My mom came back. I think I earned it.
That is pretty funny. So you're the middle child. Mm-hmm. What are the age of your sisters?
2-ish on both sides, like maybe like 1.5, 2.5.
That's very young.
Oh, so I guess I'm 28. Yeah, Allie's 30. Emily's 26. That's crazy.
Yeah, so two years between each.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Ish. But yeah.
And then how old were you when the whole thing went down?
I was 11, 6th grade.
Yeah.
Prime time, 2008, housing financial crisis.
Right.
It all connected.
And how did it feel?
It's so funny because I can remember my parents never really fought in front of me, and I can remember thinking when they told me, I was like, our neighbors' parents are screaming at each other constantly. Are you sure we're not talking about them? I was like, what do you mean? You guys get along great.
That's funny.
I remember being like, it was a total. I think I would say it went from like my mom was my primary parent 100% to complete 180 of like my dad was my primary parent 100%, and it was sort of like. It is another thing I want to talk about is like my dad did an amazing job. He's a great father, loves me very much. I love him. It is funny hearing the way other people like commend him for stepping up.
Yeah.
And I do feel like you do. Yes, he did. But you do know his only other options were illegal. Like the first parent who leaves is a deadbeat. The second one, it's going to be a Class E felony.
Yeah.
So it's like, yes, he did step up, but he also didn't have a choice.
Yeah. It also, I mean, the bar is also like pretty low for dads. It's not like if you're just present and not abusive, it's like, he's a class act.
It did feel like that's how some people talked about it, and of course he was more than that. He was a great parent, like regardless of gender. But it is so. I mean, there are certain things that were just, and I also just it does feel dishonest to like have this narrative of like my mom left when like she was a phone call away always.
Yeah.
For the most part, it was just a strained. It was a combination of like what was my adolescence going to be like anyways? I'm an angsty kid. How fraught was it all going to be? And then like combined with this, it was just an angsty time, and it really feels like time just like healed all the wounds.
Yeah. So what were you like in high school?
I was a big overachiever. It's interesting because I think that my environment shaped me a lot. I went to tiny all-girls boarding school.
Uh-huh.
So, and it's little braids.
Is there a different size of all-girls boarding school? Are there big ones?
You ever read Little Women? Where the titular little girl?
No, I have not.
There are bigger boarding schools. Like you're talking about these Vermont people. Like when I say I went to boarding school, I think people think I maybe went to like a rigorous prep school in the Northeast, and I'm like, no, this was horse girls.
In Pennsylvania?
In Virginia.
In
but
Virginia,
truly,
okay.
truly.
Well, that's
same
for
thing.
lovers.
And Virginia's for lovers. Delaware for perverts. But I don't know. But it was a graduating class of 36 girls for me. And so like it was like 120
Yeah,
people in
so
the
it's a
whole
small
school.
school.
It was an extra small school.
36 girls. I mean, I wonder what I would do. What I do with all that.
I wish it had been a few years. They're looking at us. Hi. Any requests?
What do you want us to play?
What did you say?
I said, what do you want us to play? I don't. Well, it's funny because they can't hear us.
Oh, of course.
But they can see us.
Are they mad at us?
I don't know.
God, the teens are getting scarier. You know that was like a bunch of 12-year-olds.
That person was 50.
The Lower East Side is the great equalizer. There's no way of knowing.
I don't know anyone's age.
There's no way of knowing here.
Or race. I have no idea what any of those. I didn't know anyone in that group. I didn't know any of their ages, races, or genders.
And so I'm just going to say how I feel from the heart. But I guess in high school I was, big old overachiever. If there was a club, I wanted to be president of it. I think being like, it was kind of a interesting, crunchy, cult-like environment, but also it was just like sisterhood in a nice way. There were good parts of it and bad parts of it. But like it was like summer camp for high school. Does that make sense?
It does. I went to boarding school for a little bit.
What happened?
Well, my brother died.
Oh, of course.
So I went to the American Hebrew Academy.
Really?
Which doesn't exist anymore.
No kidding.
That's not after what I did to them. No, I think they went bankrupt. But so they, what you think, Jews? You know, you'd think they'd have all the money.
I wouldn't think that. My mind didn't even go there.
But
I wasn't spending the last 30 seconds thinking about what I'm allowed to say.
But so I went there for like 3 months. My brother died in September, the first month that I was there, and I went back.
So you were a
which
freshman?
was crazy. I was a sophomore in high
Okay.
school. So I went to public school until after my freshman year of high school. Then I went to this boarding school.
Oh my God.
And then I went back to public school, and it was
The same one?
and it was
Okay.
the coolest I've ever been. Do you remember?
Because of this trauma?
I think
Or
yeah.
because okay.
Or also because I came back. I don't because when somebody like leaves school and then they come back and it's like mysterious, and then I think especially when it's like coupled with like a trauma, because it's
And a
like as a
tragedy.
kid, I mean like that when you find out that somebody's like experienced something bad, you're like,
Yeah. Oh my God. I definitely can. And I felt like my school handled personal tragedies way too intimately.
Really?
Because the school was so small.
so small, yeah.
That like, yeah, there was some stuff where like, if someone like lost a parent, it was like a group announcement at the whole school in a way where I'm like, I understand this, but also if this were me, I would be, this would be a recipe for me acting out.
Yeah, well, and that did actually kind of have. So when I was at boarding school, like they did send out, like, because it was a really similarly small
do.
school.
It's
they
how they
like,
work.
they sent out an email like about
It's blurred lines between parental figures and teachers.
Yeah,
That's just like
and
the
it's
name
also
of the game.
it's one of those things where I was like, it was really good to go back to public school where like I had friends and people knew me because it was just like I feel comfortable with people like knowing this about me. But like where like at that boarding school, I was like, I don't know people, and so it's like I don't want to like talk about this tragedy that just happened to me.
Yeah.
But I'm also like it feels weird to pretend that I'm just like normal and chill right now.
How could you?
Yeah.
So at what point did you go back? Did you finish out the semester?
Yeah. I think we had trimesters, and so the first trimester ended Thanksgiving break, and so it was after Thanksgiving break I went back to public school.
Did you have like a friend group you felt like you returned to?
At public school?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I had, and I like missed all my friends, and
Yeah, it made a ton of sense.
yeah, and especially, and I was not at the boarding school long enough to like really like I had made some friends, but like not make like a solid friend group. It's just such a weird place.
Oh, it is. It's very
Yeah.
strange. And can I ask, why were you going to go there in the first place?
I killed a guy. My parents thought that like it seemed like a better like school academically. It was like a really impressive campus. Like
Totally.
the campus was like a college campus. And I think I got like a scholarship of some kind. So it was like financially easier for them to afford than it would have been if we were paying like the full price. And yeah, my public school just like, it was a public school. So, and I think growing up, I was kind of always told like, oh, it's like, oh, it's such a bad school. It's such a bad school. But, you know, I think that when people say that, they just mean there's a lot of black people there. And I think that honestly, because now, especially having like worked at public schools in New York,
of course,
I'm like, yeah, it was a school. And I'm like, I took all honors and AP classes, you know, there. So I'm like, I got a pretty good education.
It was just the racism.
I think that was part of it. I think also, you know, Jews can be very like uptight about education.
Okay.
I think sometimes, especially like, maybe I'm making that up, but I think that was part. Also, my brother went to he went to like a small private school, and I went to public school. And so, and when I was in, I think like 6th grade, 7th grade, whatever grade, I like went and like did like a shadow day there and interviewed there. And they asked me, why do you want to go here? And I said, oh, I don't want to go here. Cause I hadn't like learned how to lie yet. And then I didn't get in, and my parents were like, why didn't you accept, like, his brother's like an exceptional student here? Yeah. And then they were like, well, he said he didn't want to go here.
Which I'm sorry, but the way that I'm like, well, you're a kid.
Yeah. I think I was in 5th grade. I think it was because I think it was.
He doesn't want to go to school.
Yeah. I was like, well, my friends are I have friends at the school I actually go to. Why would I want to go here?
Damn. I can't believe they would seriously factor that in.
I think so. I mean, this is also like, I think that's what my mom told me.
It's the retelling.
Yeah.
Totally.
It's like,
yeah. I don't understand that game.
But okay, so you played soccer and field hockey. You were like an athlete.
Again, with the small school thing, it was required.
Oh, okay, it was one of those.
I think I've never been naturally like good at any one sport. I was so either on the bench for varsity or like starter on JV.
Yes.
Like I was right in between of like, I'm not an asset, but I'm not the worst in the world.
Yeah, I'm similar.
But I was super hard on myself. If I whiffed it, I'm crying. And then I'm crying and then I'm out of the game. Like I was such an easy crier.
I was very similar. I've mentioned this a few times on the podcast, but so I played JCC basketball. Okay. And so we played against like Catholic schools and like small private schools. And so And we were pretty good in our league, but I set the Harrisburg JCC record for most technical fouls in a single season and in a career, and it wasn't a lot. It was like 5, 7, like something like that. But
the record wasn't even that impressive.
No, it's not. But again, Jews are pretty nice. We're like it's some Jews, not all. Ooh, boy. But my parents. You mentioned your parents didn't argue in front. My parents would argue in Hebrew in front of us, so we wouldn't understand what they were saying. This is something I've thought about doing a bit about. So now, like when I hear stuff about Israel, I'm like, well, yeah, that language they speak is so angry.
That's funny. That's so. And they never taught it to you?
No,
they really kept it as their argument device.
And my dad's from Turkey, so like he speaks fluent Turkish, and my parents both lived in Israel. Like they speak Hebrew.
Really?
They never taught it to us. I mean, my brother both like went to Hebrew school, so like we technically like learned Hebrew, but you really only learned like what's in the Torah, Okay. So, but I never learned like conversational.
Gotcha.
Hebrew.
You only know the worst. I'm like making up arguments your parents had. I was about to map my parents' situation onto yours. Being like, you only know how to say like your mother's a whore.
Yeah. So how are your parents cool now? Like with each other?
Honestly, as all the kids are fully launched, so they don't like have to ever be in the same room. I think my parents did like an exceptional job putting up like co-parenting, and like as I've gotten older, I've realized maybe some of the drama behind the scenes. But no, I think that I think that is such a thing about being a funny person. Is that when you're funny, you kind of have this social workaround to like avoid conflict. Mm-hmm. I honestly feel like I've navigated or like taken the wheel of a lot of social situations where like people could be fighting and made a joke to cut the tension. And I think I watched my parents do that all growing up. And it's like, at least for them, I've never said this to them, but I'm like, they have like a social superpower for it.
So your parents are funny.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yes. And they're really like I know that they're funny because they both have like big friend groups in a way
Yeah.
that I really appreciate as we're like getting older. Like I have so many friends talk about their parents worried about their social lives and all this kind of stuff. And like they're only friends with other parents. And I'm like, no, my parents each have like a wolf pack. Like they are
really?
social creatures.
What are your dad's friends like?
Oh, he's got a lot of friends that are like born and raised Delaware or like from Delaware University. And I think I didn't say the word wolf pack like I didn't pull that from nowhere. But way before Hangover came out, like they were called the Wolf Pack.
Really?
Their group chats and their email threads, it's all the Wolf Pack. And so they were all like, I mean, it's a bunch of like white country club boys in Delaware, but it's also like they were party animals.
Yeah.
And are crass, funny people.
That's so interesting because I think this might be just like a thing of like having a dad from another country. Like all my dad's friends don't live here. Like they all live in other countries.
Yeah.
And so he's friends with like, you know, my parents have like couple friends that they're friends with and like, and he's gets along really, like he's such a nice guy that like he gets along with not just like, I feel like he gets along better with my mom's friends than with like the other husbands.
That's green flag. Keep your dad.
I'm not. He ain't going nowhere.
That's really sweet, though.
Not if ICE has anything to say about it. No, he's been a citizen for I think over 20 years. He's okay. He's doing okay. Please don't deport my dad. That'd be crazy.
Your fan base is entirely ICE agents.
Yeah, it's just my parents and ICE agents. Did you see how much ICE is paying? It's crazy.
I did see that. It's almost like they really have to incentivize the most heinous acts
It's really.
of all time.
I was looking at it. I was like, I'm not gonna do it. But like, it's a lot of money.
I'm gonna leave you alone with this bit. Yeah. See where it goes. See where it would go if I'm not here.
We can cut this. I'm saying it to myself.
To the interns. Intern Adam.
Yeah. So what were you in college? So you went to college, Northeastern, big Dr. Dietz.
For like a month.
and then
super undeclared. And then, yeah, there was a cool thing about, I loved being in Boston and it was doing all of those, like, I was so type A, valedictorian, like classroom kind of person. I can remember some classes I took and I don't realize now, but like what a waste because I was so preoccupied with like regurgitating. No, I was so occupied with like regurgitating the info in the most like accurate way. I don't think I learned a lot, and I didn't ask a single critical question until I went on a very like formative study abroad situation. I was Donald Trump there for a second. He loves study. Barcelona. It was a very interesting, intensive thing all summer where we literally and figuratively traced the rise of Nazi propaganda and the ensuing development of human rights.
Whoa.
So it was like Munich, Berlin, Nuremberg, Strasbourg, Brussels, and Amsterdam. And then I went back as a TA because I like bonded with that professor a lot.
That sounds like that sounds very cool.
It was. And the professor is like a strict German man. And
that's the only way they make them.
But he honestly has these, like, his papers that are not published yet or, like, not official, I can't share, but, like, about humor theories from, like, a super academic framework of, like, can we... He's, like, a logic professor.
Yeah.
And he's like, can we basically
He's
make,
a big
like...
hip-hop fan.
Exactly. I wonder. No, actually, I know for a fact he's, like, a big death metal guy.
Really?
And he was like, yeah, you should come to the concert with me and my wife. And I was like, I'm gonna mosh with my old professor.
I was saying hip-hop because, like, the rapper Logic.
I know.
Okay.
I switched to a true fact about this man. I followed.
Okay, cool.
People don't know this about me. But I know baseline references to other cultures. Honestly, no, I don't. But he saw me do stand-up, and it was so nerve-wracking because I know that he has these like true scientific theories about what does and doesn't make something funny.
Wow, Germans are so interesting in their relation to humor. I did stand up in Germany once. You did? In Berlin when I was studying abroad.
How did it go?
So I studied abroad in Italy, and I went to Berlin for like 4 days, and I found some like underground stand-up show that they like booked me on, And this is, I'm 21. I'm 21, so I've been doing stand-up for like a year at this point, but haven't done it in a few months. And
it's also, how good is any 21-year-old at stand-up?
yes.
What do you have to say?
I'm like
we went from Pennsylvania to New England, and now we're studying abroad.
Yeah,
like nothing.
We really have had like just identical.
It's almost like we both are
just regular, just white
really
people.
regular upper middle class bitches. Yeah. Like there's a blueprint.
Yeah.
But anyways, so this is the context of you.
Yeah, and so I did find the other comics on the show told me I had a good set, but Germans really just do not laugh.
Nope.
They are just like, this is my impression of a German person laughing. Yes, that's good.
It's that's good. Yeah,
and none of the comics were German. They were all like,
that is interesting.
I think they were mostly American or like English.
Oof. And so then there's also just the optics of like, this is what you guys have to offer. Like, you're America's superpower. There is something. I was very recently. I went to visit people at Fringe, which was awesome.
Oh.
And I picked up a few spots, and there was so many like little comments about like righteous, justifiable comments about like hating Americans or whatever. But like by the time I went on stage, I was like, you guys did not want me to succeed.
Yeah.
Like you're very pissed that I'm here, and I understand it. But I wish I had come up with some little riff about being like, I'm sorry for my accent. I think I said that once, and they loved it in a way where I was like, oh, you hate my accent and what it represents. And honestly, totally fair. So sorry for being here.
Yeah.
But I was like, there was an amazing show I saw. It's called Night, and it was this like clowning act. And the performer, they have this like insane like Spam-A-Lot Monty Python type accent, and like they're doing a crazy voice. And at the very end, when they're thanking the audience, it's like a reveal that they are American.
That's so
like we had no idea, and I really think some people in the crowd were like pissed because they loved this performer, and then they're like, it's an American.
That kind of reminds me of Roy Wood Jr.'s joke about how like all the like black people in like historical movies, they're like all British actors. Like Idris Elba and Daniel Kaluuya.
I don't know this joke, but oh my God.
And Chiwetel Ejiofor, the guy from 12 Years a Slave. Like, they're all British, and they're all playing, like, some, like, iconic American roles.
Yeah.
And so you're like, wow, that guy's... And then you see them in an interview, you're like, yeah, no, it was a good experience.
They're Australian?
That was Australian. No, I don't think they have black people there.
Australian? I can't do accents at all.
I can do accents, but never the right one.
Just Chinese. It's Chinese. For whatever it is.
Yeah.
No, I can't do them at all. So I'm honestly safe from getting into troubled waters because there's no risk of me doing a questionable accent because it will be unrecognizable.
Well, you're so ethnically ambiguous that you can get away with it.
Right? That was being in Scotland and Ireland and being
I'm home.
I was like, oh, and it was like I'm home, but it was also like, oh, I'm not special at all. Why would I ever come back here? This is my currency. What the fuck am I doing?
That's funny. What are you Irish?
I found like a little thing that traced my dad's middle name. That's also my middle name.
Which is what?
McCormick, but our spelling is more Scottish. I can't tell you how much I was not raised with like anything resembling an ethnicity.
Really?
Or heritage or connection to the past.
Well,
true blank slate Delawarean.
How far back does your family go in America? You don't even know. That's how far back it is.
It's not part of my family story at all.
Interesting. I wonder, are they maybe hiding anything?
Dietz. Dietz definitely is German because
Yeah, it does sound German.
And I broke my laptop when I was abroad in Germany, and I had to go to an Apple store. Like it was a real intensive program. Like there was no way to do it without doing all the assignments on my laptop. And I went to the Apple store, and they were like, I can't do an accent. Are you any of these Dietzes? And like they showed, and it was like I've never seen my last name like that represented in America. And I was like, oh, this is a very German last name. I was like, am I Smith here? This is crazy. I had no idea.
Yeah, I had kind of similarly, I didn't like see people with my last name in Italy, but anytime if I was like going to a bar or something, and even though most places they didn't check ID, but if for any reason they were looking at my ID, they'd be like, Mitrani, Italiano, and I'd be like, See, I tried so hard to pretend I was Italian while
I
I
was
was
going to
there.
say, Mitrani, I think I would have assumed that was Italian.
Yeah.
It's Turkish?
It's a Sephardic Jewish name. So it's like, it
okay,
actually means from Trani, which is a city in Italy. But it's like a combination.
Oh.
Me is Hebrew and Trani is Italian. So it's like, there's a lot of Mitranis in Turkey, Spain, Mexico. One time I met a Mitrani from Mexico.
Really?
Yeah, there's so just all the places that like Jews went to like after the Spanish Inquisition, basically.
And I love when you break down the name and it like truly tells the story of it. Versus I'm like, I was in an Apple store once and I was like, I guess this is where I'm from. This Apple store.
I tried so hard to pretend to be like I basically, honestly, I don't think people thought I was Italian. They probably thought I was mute. Like, because my Italian's so bad that I would try to say as few words as possible.
But you do know some.
Not really anymore. Like when I was, I mean, yeah, because I took it in college and like I picked up but also I was in Florence where there's so many American students. So it's like, as soon as I started, if I was having anything even resembling a conversation, they would just start speaking to me in English.
And in every like mini opportunity, that is like what makes the most sense. But then you go home and you're like, bam.
And you're like, why?
I really spoke English the whole time.
That was really was what it was.
Yeah. But like in this situation, it's like, am I going to try to learn a language at the expense of this person's time?
Exactly.
It's a hard.
I'm like, I'm being rude.
Yeah,
I'm being
selfish.
rude by trying to absorb your culture.
I'm like, I should have spoke it better before I got here, but the only way to learn, it's yeah, I understand that for sure.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So why aren't you more famous?
Probably a combination of hard work, talent, and luck. What do people normally say?
Some people have said just because of the allegations.
Yeah, exactly.
No, that was Sam Evans' joke answer.
Yeah.
Tommy Bayer said that he doesn't work hard enough and is not talented enough.
I beg to differ in terms of talent.
Definitely in terms of talent.
I don't know him well enough to know the work.
That's what everybody said. Mike Kaplan said because he doesn't want to be, which I think makes a lot of sense for him. And he's certainly
absolutely.
He's certainly the most accomplished person that I've had on the podcast, just in terms of like somebody who's been a professional comic for like over 20 years.
And I've had a lot of people, I feel like if you say you want to be famous, everyone that like raises people's hackles. They're like, well, then you're not in it for the right reasons. But if you say you don't want to be famous, no one believes you.
Yeah.
It's hard because I guess it's a way I think about it is like fame is unfortunately the most telling, undeniable metric of success in what we want to do.
Yeah.
Like if there was a way for me to be anonymous, like the way like you could be, I guess like, I don't know. I guess you could, I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying necessarily because I'm also like, I will be able to frame this better when I'm more successful. From our vantage point, like whatever grade we're in, it's like, yeah, fame is the only way to know if you've made it.
Yeah.
And fame is where the money comes from. Like, how do I get the money without the fame?
Right. Well, it's also like saying you don't want to be famous, like saying you don't want to be rich, where it's like, I don't want to be like successful. I don't want my life to be better.
I mean, there are aspects of not wanting fame that I understand where like I really value my privacy, despite me like spilling my parents' divorce on this.
Yeah.
I value like my day-to-day. I don't really care what people like know about me, but like I don't want to be recognized in a grocery store.
Yes.
Which is not currently a risk for me at all. But
Have you ever been recognized?
I got recognized the other day in Tompkins Square Park. My boyfriend and I were just like watching some people climb. Clearly they got like locked in when they got fenced in. And we were like having a fun time just like drunk watching them like try to climb out or whatever. And one of the guys climbs out and like he stumbles and he stands up and he goes, "Are you Meredith Dietz?" From Full of Bones, my indie improv team. I was like, this is fame. He was like an improv student who had seen my team. And I was like, I'm getting recognized for indie improv. This is so funny. I got recognized, I think like the first time where I was like, I performed a lot. And so what's cool is like, I don't think I've ever been, no, I feel like I have been recognized for a front-facing video here or there. But, you know, I'm around the circles of people who are watching each other's videos. But yeah, I mean, I performed, you know, at a lot of clubs and bars and places here. And like, eventually someone will come up and be like, I got red hair. They're like, I think I've seen you. Yeah. And I'm like, that's what means the most. Like someone who isn't a huge comedy fan saw a one-off show and is like, oh shit. Like I've had that happen.
Yeah.
Have you had that?
Yeah, I've had that happen of just people being like, I saw your this is something I had students when I was substitute teacher that asked me, they were like, are you on TikTok? And I was like, but I also am like, I look like a lot of people. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of people that look, so I'm like, maybe they saw like a stand-up clip of mine, but I'm also like, or like a sketch that I was in, like, they also just maybe saw like another white guy that like has that is online.
You know, and here's the thing, absolutely fair. And hey, absorb that.
Yeah.
Take that, ride that for all it's worth.
But also like, oh my God, that is a really cute dog.
That's a good dog. Why aren't you more famous, sir?
Yeah.
Oh, so cute. I think being famous is something that does. My natural response is like fear, but also I think it would be so naive and like pretending to be more noble and smarter than I am to act like I don't want it.
Right.
I think it would be really like, get real. Like, of course, that's all I know for like a sign that I'm doing well in comedy.
Yeah.
The idea of being like a comics comic, famous to other comics, but like not a name other people know, that's cool to me.
That is cool. And I feel like Mike Kaplan is like an example of that.
That's where,
sure.
Where I was thinking of him.
And yeah, that would be really, I mean, but a lot of it comes down to just like, how can I make this into a career? Yeah. And it's like, well, the best way to do that is to be famous.
And I also am thinking of like, fame and like selling out. And it's like, there's so many ways to like micro sell out before you get to a point where you get like the rewards of selling out. Like, for instance, like, you know, a vibrator company was like, hey, will you post something? $500. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I need $500. But
if there's fleshlight companies out there, I'm available. Because I feel like every like
you should just post a front. Pretend you got sponsored by one. Just pretend you don't need the money. Do it for the love of the game.
I feel like every like female or like non-binary comic that we know that has any internet following has posted like a vibrator collab.
Yeah,
I do want to see guys start posting fleshlight collabs.
I would love that, and also. Don't collab with the company and be like, they asked me to take this down. It's a reverse sponsorship. If you don't, I'm going to keep this video up until you send me $500. Blackmail a fleshlight company.
Oh, I feel like here's what I've been thinking recently about selling out. I feel like it's only selling out if you don't have to do it. Like when I see like Will Ferrell in a PayPal commercial, I'm like,
that's interesting.
You don't need to do that, man.
I know. I do see that stuff, and I'm like, that does. It's tough because also, if you want to be a comic, it's so much. Again, like if a famous musician does like a PayPal commercial, I'm like, oh, does this mean they're like not a real artist? Like, I don't know. I could still enjoy their music, but like if I see Will Ferrell do that, I'm like, well, come on, that's not funny.
Yeah,
that's not punk. I don't know.
But then it's like if you see like I don't know, like Michael Longfellow. Who's just like from SNL, like
1,000,000%. I'm like,
so
good for him.
I'm like, good for, because I'm like, that is a way to actually support your stand-up career. Because then you can do this, and you're just like, I made enough money on that I don't care how my tour sells.
And it also is like a validating thing of like, I've been in the same room as him.
Yeah.
I am in the right time at the right place. Like when these people that like I am, who don't know me but I know them, are
right.
Like, it is cool to see people like get stuff. Like, you know what? I feel like a lot of our friends always rant about like, oh, Vulture's like 30 comics to watch or whatever it is. And I'm like, they're always like, we know who all these people are. What do you mean comics to watch? They're already successful. And I'm like, no, these are the comics we know that like I want my parents to know their name. Like someone I think was like, why would Mary Beth Barone get this? She's already successful. I'm like, well, because we adore her. I want my mom to know Mary Beth's name, though.
Yeah,
like,
I had a conversation with like it was about like the new SNL like cast members with somebody, and I was like, yeah, we know who all these people are because we do comedy.
Yeah,
like it'd be like weird if we didn't, but like these people are pretty unknown to the majority of America and the world.
I also saw a bunch of tweets where people are like, oh, they're hiring online comics, and I'm like, that's such you chicken egg that situation. It's like they're not online comics. Comics have to be online. Yeah. That's like where the talent is right now.
I don't even know if this is like possible anymore. My real dream is just to be successful enough to not have to be online or to like pay somebody to like do my social media for me.
1,000,000%.
That's the truest sign of success.
Yes.
Is if I do not have to have the Instagram app on my phone in order to do shows.
I'm with you there.
Yeah.
I would love that. That is how I feel about it. And I like, it's, again, we talk about like doing poorly at mics.
Yeah.
There is a weird parallel to like posting reels at the level we're at, where it's shitty video quality and self-edited. And it's like, I am failing publicly, but like, I post this so that I get another show that makes me better so I can post something. Like, I just wish every tiny little ladder rung wasn't so visible to everybody and such public failure. Like, there's no way to like get better at stand-up alone anymore. Yeah. I don't think there ever was. It's always a public-facing thing. But like, now you have to act, I don't know. I just sometimes feel like I am selling a product they don't believe in, because I like fucking post on Instagram every other hour, and I'm like, this is snake oil. This is garbage. That's the worst joke anyone ever wrote. But I'm like, but I gotta post it because I want to keep getting opportunities to write better jokes.
So what are like your goals or dreams or ambitions?
I mean, I feel something I do think about is like, we're in our late 20s now. We've been doing comedy the whole time. I already haven't failed. I love it. I love what we do. I'd love to be at the level where I am doing stand-up without having to post on my own Instagram.
Yeah.
I really have tunnel vision for stand-up at the moment, but of course, like, if the path is wide and like winding, and like if somebody offered me a writing job, I would take it.
Yeah.
I think I might be a better writer than I am performer. I do. But at the same time, stand-up's the thing that's like right in front of us right now that we can go and do an hour after this.
Do you think you could see a world where you are, if you're writing it, where you would stop doing stand-up?
The thing is, since I've started, I've never stopped.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think like
I feel similarly.
I like say that, and then I'm like, what if I ever was actually forced to take multiple months off? I wonder if I was like, oh my God, stand-up's been my love the whole time. Why did I think I could live without this?
I feel weird when I take like a week or two off. Like,
I think, but sometimes I wonder though, is that weird feeling like, is that true, like, artist in my pain, or is it like a pressure to be doing it?
Yeah, it is tough to tell.
I've never honestly taken a long enough break from stand-up to miss it. I don't think.
Since I've lived here, I think there have been times where I've been like out of town for like 2 weeks and not done it, but that's about it. That's like the longest. I can't think of a time I
was out of town 2 weeks without picking up a spot. Because we have worms in our brain.
Yeah, even then, actually, it's been. I don't know. I feel like at most I'll like usually go a week.
2 weeks.
Yeah,
I think I've definitely gone 2 weeks. I also feel like the adrenaline of like those first 3 years of like mic boot camp has faded, so I can go longer now. But also, that's all coming from a place of like, I feel good about stand up. Like, who knows how I'd feel if I really like. I have a lot of friends who talk about, if not quitting, taking a break, or like feeling like they don't have the constitution for it at a certain point in time. And I'm sure that'll happen for me at one point. It's a devastating grind. Yeah. But I'm lucky right now that I think whatever my relationship is with stand-up, I've been able to do. This is so annoying what I'm about to say, but like, I'm a marathon runner. Like, I really am a slow and steady wins the race kind of guy.
And you mean that literally? Like, you literally run marathons?
Yes.
Yeah.
I do mean it literally. That's what's annoying about it. It wouldn't be annoying if I was talking about like my dreams, but I'm talking about like a hobby. So it is annoying.
How many marathons have you run?
I've run 6.
Jesus, that is so
Isn't that
many.
weird? I think this is gonna. I think this might have to be my last year for a second.
You think
which
so?
Is sad. It's just been time-wise, it's been impossible.
It's
like nobody wants to hear you complaining about how you can't run a marathon.
Because about a thing that you totally don't have to do.
Exactly.
Which is also stand-up. Like, nobody is forcing us to. Sometimes it does feel like it's like I can't stop, and it's like nobody's forcing you to do this. But I'm still like, I feel it. But so when we have to wrap up, but I just want to get to the marathon thing. Really, when did you start doing that?
First summer after graduating, fall after graduating college. It was, Boston. It was so huge to see the marathon every year. And that last one, I was like, I love running. Yeah. I'm going to try to run a marathon. And so I didn't go from like couch to like running a marathon. I like had tried a half and I loved it. And I always was a runner. Like never that good, never fast, but like number one coping strategy since I was like in middle school. It's like, I'm going to go on a run.
It's a great coping strategy.
I know, and that's the thing. Like going on a run could always mean like I'm going to be listening to Wicked. I'm going to walk. I'm going to sing. I'm going to cry. Like my runs were like weird speaking in tongues, little private rituals I had for myself. And, you know, grew up really rural. So it was like, I'm going over hills. I'm not worried about my time. I'm like running like a freak.
Did you run track or cross country?
No.
Oh, I did both of those.
See, I would, and those are the people that I'm like, you guys have a damaged relationship with running. For me, I'm a little beast in the hills.
You're right. I think it makes me. I do kind of have like a love-hate relationship with it because of that. I feel bad. Yeah.
Mine is just pure love. Like I'm like, I'm in the nature. But yeah, and then I've just run one every year since. One I don't count, I guess, is 2020. I ran a virtual one. And I look back and
so it's on a treadmill?
No, it was just me alone in the city. It was an awesome route. I lived in Queens.
That feels harder.
I don't know. I could walk when I wanted, and there was no like official time that I cared about. And also, I struggle with the crowds at marathons. It makes me very tense and blood pressure. I ran so much better when I'm alone.
Oh wow, that's so. I feel like I like the motivation of like keeping pace with somebody.
That gets in my head, and I'm competitive, and I'm sad about how many people are in front of me.
Here's
where the metaphors come in for comedy.
I actually did have that when I ran track and cross country, where I would be so good in practice and like keeping pace with whoever my best teammate was. And then once it came to the meets, I got in my head, and I was like, oh my God, all these people are ahead of me, and I suck. And then, which is exactly what it feels like doing stand-up in New York.
You're like, I'm being lapped. But then you're not looking at all the people who are behind you.
Yeah.
Who like dip in and out of the race every other year. And look at you as someone who's like a consistent like person they're jealous of. Like it's, I don't know, my biggest thing for marathon running, like the number one thing that gets me through it is run the mile you're in. Did you ever get that in track and cross country?
Yeah.
Yeah, like run the mile you're in. And that's what I do for stand-up. I'm like, I'm just running the mile I'm in. Like, I'm doing bar shows. That's where we're at.
Yeah.
That's the level we're in.
Meredith Dietz.
Adam Mitrani.